So if you're like me, you've got a lot of trips planned coming up this summer, you might be wondering what you should be doing to get your rig ready to make sure you don't have any breakdowns on the trail. Well, stay tuned. We're going to go through exactly what I do. All right, this is another episode of Tailgate Talk, so let's get that timer going. First off, no matter what you do, there's always going to be unforeseen things that happen on the trail, but here's what I do to try to minimize that. First, I like to start up in the engine bay and go through and just take a look. Make sure there's no belts that look worn, no hoses that look dry rotted. Then I'm going to start checking all of the fluids up there. So I check the engine oil, make sure that I'm good on that. I also carry extra engine oil right up in that case just in case. Next, I move on to the coolant, the windshield washer fluid. That's a big one. You don't want to be 10 miles back on a trail, big dust storm or something, and you're out of windshield washer fluid. Yes, you can put water in there, but it's just not as good. Other things, I can't check my transmission fluid on here, but if you have that option, that'd be something that would be great to check. So make sure you're following what's in your owner's manual for that. Next, I like to do a walk around and just look for anything that looks out of place. Any wires that are hanging down, anything that doesn't look right. I like to check my rack to make sure all the bolts are still tight, the lights especially, the tent, and the case. So any modifications you've done, I just like to shake them, make sure they're still snug. Then I'll crawl underneath and do the same thing. I like to start in the front and work my way in an organized fashion from the front to the back so I don't miss anything. I like to, anything that I can grab, I'll shake it just to make sure that none of the bolts are loose. I'm looking for any wires, any hoses, any belts, anything that's hanging down, looking at brake lines, looking at any shields that are underneath there, anything like that could have gotten ripped off in the past. Next, we're going to move on to tires, make sure they're inflated, make sure you don't see any signs of damage or dry rot, and then you're going to move on to the inside. I like to check, make sure all of the oil pressure and everything looks good, no check engine lights, and test my radios and any other electronics inside. So there's my quick rundown of exactly how I get ready for a trip. Like I said, nothing is going to prevent everything, but if you make sure that you are squared away beforehand and you're not 10,000 miles over on an oil change, that sets you up way better from the beginning. Thanks for watching.